Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Fantasy Cup, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Skarmory. Skarmory on team number 5 from my top 5 best teams. There are a lot of Flygons running around and Skarmory shuts all that down. It will be the lead on team 5 along with Stunfisk in the back. Now, if you're going to run Skarmory, you definitely have to have some protection from steel types such as Registeel. And although it can be close, Stunfisk puts in the work. And also on this team, Flygon. Speaking of, also here to add some added coverage up against potential Registeels, because Registeel is also quite prevalent in the Fantasy Cup. Team 5 from my top 5 best Fantasy Cup teams was amazing during this day here. And here we go. Flygon, target acquired. You love to see it if you run Team 5 and you are leading Skarmory. And the fact that they're staying in is a massive indicator that perhaps there's also something in the back that is weak to a Skarmory. So we are going to go for a Sky Attack here and put the pressure on the Flygon, see what they want to do. They're shielding, so they're absolutely core broken by Skarmory here. It's a beautiful thing. A lot of people sleeping on Skarmory. They're not respecting Skarmory at all, and Skarmory is just here to let them know, guys. We're going to actually throw another move, and if they want to double shield this Flygon, by all means, because I know my own Flygon with a shield advantage can absolutely cook, but no, they cut the losses, they let the Flygon go down, and we win lead with a shield advantage here. There goes the Reggie. They need to have a Reggie to protect their Flygon lead from an Azumarill, so the team building for Team 5 on point thus far. And holy smokes, they're not running Focus Blast. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, you can run Flash Cannon, but I don't know, guys. I think Reggie's still strong up against opposing fairies. I don't know if you need Flash Cannon, but I digress. We're looking at a Wigglytuff. That is what was hiding in the back from our Steel Wing Skarmory. You love to see it, but I don't even think we'll need to get Skarmory onto this Wiggly. We let this go. At the very worst, it could be an Icy Wind, and we survived that quite comfortably. And we are severely compromised on attack, and I think Flygon up a shield will absolutely close this thing out, and they promptly top left, recognizing they no longer had a win con. Good game to them. Yeah, I really wasn't sure what I was going to run on my first day of the Fantasy Cup, but I saw everyone running Azu and Flygon on Twitch, and we landed on Team 5. Speaking of Azu, we had an Azu lead. That's pretty good for our Skarmory. They safe swap a Lucario, and we bank energy, and we catch the resisted Blaze Kick onto our Flygon. You'd love to see it. And this matchup really isn't all that bad. Look at how much these mud shots are doing to the Lucario. Holy smokes, Lucario definitely not known for its bulk. That is insane damage from a low attack fast move, my goodness. And we just wanted to get to the back-to-back, because even resisted damage is often meaningful damage when you're up against the Lucario. They cut the losses, take the shield advantage, and back in comes the Azumarill, and we overloaded by quite a bit. So we are going to let that Scorching Sands rip on the Azu, and holy smokes, non-Shadow Flygon hangs on long enough to get off another Scorching Sands, and they decide to let it go. Holy smokes. Flygon putting in the work. You'd love to see it. And this is just an Ice Beam. We're going to let this go. Not shielding this. I don't know what else they could have in the back. We do comfortably survive that. And oh my gosh, it's a Togedemaru. Oh, this is over, guys. This is about as over as it gets. There's nothing this thing can throw that will not be resisted by our Galarian Stunfisk. The team building, once again, for Team 5, absolutely coming in clutch. They're running Gyro Ball. That's a very interesting play. I like that for the fairies in the meta, but guys, honestly, I don't know about Togedemaru. I think you just run Magnezone, right, guys? Maybe that's just me. But yeah, this is about as over as it gets. They're going to throw one final move. Wild Charge does nothing to G-Fisk as they go down, and the Azu was absolutely cooked. They do top left. Good game to them. Oh, Team 5 was phenomenal in the Fantasy Cup, but not with a lead like this. Holy smokes, we got a Registeel lead. Gonna safe swap G-Fist to bait out a potential Flygon, and they fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. You love to see it. So this is fine. We're not going to shield anything because Skarmory can Steel Wing a Flygon all the way down to Funky Town. So we're not going to shield anything. We're going to look to pressure shields on them, however, and we do get a shield from the Earthquake there. I either wanted to just about one-shot or get a shield. Either one was fine with me, and if this is a Dragon Claw, I'm thinking maybe we survive. But no, they go right for the Scorching Sands, and that is absolutely fine. We're just going to wait down the Switch Clog here so that we don't get locked in onto that Registeel, and now it is time to absolutely feast on this Flygon. Holy smokes. Yeah, another target acquired. You'd love to see it with Skarmory. They can throw all the Scorching Sands they want. That is single resisted with our Steel Flying typing, and we are just going to Steel Wing this thing all the way down. So, yeah, they're going to get off one last move. That is okay. They get an unfortunate attack drop. That's okay as well. Fully expecting the Reggie, so we blind pivot, and they come in with an Azumarill. Holy smokes. Why would you ever do that, knowing that you have a Reggie for the Skarm? That was absolutely insane, and I did not expect that. So now, that's a little bit of a misplay, holy smokes. Could have gotten off a couple of Brave Birds on this Azu, but they made an insanely crazy and risky play to come in with an Azumarill. What if we just stayed in? But that's okay. We're going to work our way out of this, hopefully. We are landing these Scorching Sands. We get a very nice attack drop there, and now we're just going to go for the double resisted Dragon Claw. Flygon hits like an absolute truck, and they shield the Dragon Claw, so they really want to take out this Flygon, of course, knowing that they have a pretty healthy Reggie for our Skarm there in the back, so that's a decent shield by them, but Flygon not done, guys. Flygon can absolutely cook in this Fantasy Cup. It's a beautiful thing. Going for the Scorching Sands does big super effect. I'm going to throw 2 mud shots to ensure that Reggie is within Brave Bird range, and now it's time for the combo play. We say bye-bye to the Tin Can Man, and the Azu is cooked because we had loaded energy, and they do top left. They don't want to see their fate play out, and I don't blame them. My goodness. So yeah, lead loss, no problem for Team 5. Good game to them. The Fantasy Cup in the Great League format has proven to be quite interesting here, but we got an Azumarill lead. This is fine for Skarmory. Our Steel Wings do hit this thing for neutral, and yeah, it's a pretty good matchup. They try to catch a resisted move on the Reggie, and we're going to put our Flygon onto the Registeel. Gonna shield the potential Focus Blast because Flygon, a bit of a glass cannon, not known for its bulk, and we're gonna fire off the Scorching Sands here. They can absolutely let this go, and they do let that go, no problem, and we are just going to look to overload a little bit and go for another Scorching Sands. If they want to shield this Reggie, by all means, that is absolutely fine, but no, they do not. The Azu does have a move stored, however, going to be interesting to see if they want to instantly throw their move, and they do, so that's fine. We're going to let this go. Not going down on shields, this is not a good matchup anyways, we'll let this go, and that does one shot. So now back in comes our Skarmory, and they make a really nice catch attempt. We actually threw this. This was calculated. I wanted to hit this thing with a Brave Bird to make this matchup a lot more comfortable for our G-Fisk. And look at the mud shots, absolutely shred through the very interesting Shadow A/ pick. I think that's a very interesting pick for the meta. I don't see too many uses for it, but people are running it, and that is okay. We're going to let this go. The path to victory lies with our Skarmory, and they are going to go back-to-back moves here. That's okay as well, because Skarmory runs Steel Wing, and that hits this thing for neutral damage. The neutral Steel Wings with stab absolutely shred, holy smokes. And now I think we're in a decent spot. We don't want to potentially throw this game by going for a Brave Bird and lowering our defense by 2 stages, so the safe play is just to go straight Sky Attack here in this matchup. I think they're going to try and get to back-to-back moves, or as close to back-to-back moves as they can. Of course, Azumarill cannot stack 2 moves, so we do know that. They can try that play if they want, but all we do is we shield this, and they cannot store 2 moves, and we will make it to a move in time. We do outpace, and this will be all she wrote for the Azumarill. So as you can see, Azumarill leads also fine for Team 5 as the Azu goes down, courtesy of Skarmory. You love to see it. Good game to them. Had a lot of fun with team number 5 from my top 5 best Fantasy Cup teams for reasons like this here. Another target acquired coming in the form of yet another Flygon lead. My goodness, you love to see it. And they often stay in. I don't know why they do this. It's usually like we saw in the previous battle that they're core broken. Not too core broken. As we saw, we're good into Azu, which they do swap into here, but we're going to Brave Bird and retreat into our G-Fisk. Getting that big neutral damage on the Azu makes this matchup a lot more comfortable for a Stunfisk, especially given the fact that a lot of Azumarills are running Hydro Pump in this meta. And you can often see it coming from a mile away. They generally don't bait. It's very risky to bait. They generally go right for that Hydro Pump, and you're pretty safe to shield that if you've got G-Fisk here. And we are just going to throw with proper timing on 4 and go for the Rock Slide and see what this Azu wants to do. They do let it go, taking the shield advantage, and back in comes the Flygon here. And we're going to put the pressure on and go straight for the Earthquake. A Rock Slide bait would be quite risky. You never know if they want to shield or not. They do want to shield, and that is okay. We're going to pivot back into our Skarmory because I'm thinking perhaps this is a double fairy line. And I kind of want to bait or entice the Flygon to stay in. But no, it's not a double fairy. I wanted to save G-Fisk for a potential fairy that might be in the back. But no, they were running a very conventional Fantasy Cup team. Flygon, Azu, Reggie. So the team read was a little bit off. It might have cost us a little bit here. But Skarmory is cooking a little bit. These Brave Birds are adding up, although resisted. And we have a very highly ranked Skarmory, so I'm thinking maybe we can make it to a Sky Attack. We're trying, we just don't get to it. Oh, that is unfortunate, but we're just going to throw Stunfisk in here to absorb the damage and put the hope and faith in the Flygon, but they go for the Zap Cannon. That was very interesting. They're 5 off from another potential move, so we are going to go for the Resisted Dragon Claw and get rid of this thing. We need a shield for the end game with that opposing Flygon there. And they are loaded, and we know that we do not comfortably, but we do tank a Dragon Claw, no problem. They do have the back-to-back, so we now have to shield this one and hope for the best. We got a little impatient there. Maybe should have stayed in with the G-Fisk, but that is okay. We're going to go for a Dragon Claw. We're 1 off. I know they're going to hit us with one, but this is in Rock Slide range, but they overfarmed too much. They over-tapped or either lost track of energy, and we're saying bye-bye to it for that reason. So they either lost track of energy or knew that they wanted 2 moves to close that game out, and it just didn't work out for them. Good game to them. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people absolutely sleeping on Skarmory. No one is respecting Skarmory whatsoever, but we'll take that. We take that all day for reasons like this right here. Holy smokes. Hello. We had an Azu lead, and they safe swap a fairy into our Steel Wing Skarmory. I counted 6, and I knew that was not a overheat, so we let that go. And we're going to go for a Sky Attack to put the pressure on this Galarian Weezing. And now we will put our Flygon onto this Poison Fairy type Galarian Weezing. And they go for another Sludge. So the moveset on Weezing is generally going to be Sludge Overheat. That's what I've been seeing. And we're actually going to let this go. Non-Shadow Flygon tanks that like a champ, but I don't think we can quite farm down. So we're going to go for the double resisted Dragon Claw. It is enough to take out the Weezing, and we maintain our shield advantage. And they've got another fairy. I'm telling you, the disrespect for Skarmory was absolutely insane. No one is expecting it, justifiably so. I didn't see one myself. I feel like I'm the only one running Skarmory on team number 5 here, and it was absolutely paying off. Team 5 was absolutely cooking in the Fantasy Cup. We hit that with a Brave Bird. Not the best timing, but I wanted to get that damage off and then pivot into Stunfisk here. Gonna let this go. It is the big Hydro Pump. That's okay, but G-Fisk has the bulk to hang on long enough to get to an Earthquake. The path to victory absolutely lies with our Steel Wing Skarmory up against this triple fairy team. My goodness. Skarmory is absolutely feasting. So back in comes the Slurpuff. The play here now, friends, is to just 2-shield farm down with super effective Steel Wings. It was quite satisfying. And yeah, that is all she wrote for this triple fairy line. The disrespect for Skarmory, I'm telling you. Skarmory was here to remind them and let them know that they could run up against the Skarmory. You'd never know, but good game to them. Well played. Yeah, I was watching Twitch day one just to get a feel for the meta. I was seeing non-stop Azu, non-stop Flygon, and yeah, I said Team 5, that's the one right there. And speaking of, right on cue, there's another Azu on our screen. A nice shiny Azu, by the way. So we're going to stay in and just play this out. We don't want to risk it finding its way to our Flygon, but we're going to tread lightly here. A lot of these Azus, like I said, are running Hydro Pump. And we're going to shield that. So, yeah, that is a Hydro Pump. Like I said, they rarely ever bait if they're running Hydro Pump. It's just very risky. So I think they are going to try and put up a fight here from what I'm seeing. We're going to go for the Sky Attack, and now that further cements it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to sack G-Fisk and catch this Hydro Pump onto our G-Fisk. Preserve the Skarmory because generally if they fight that hard, they're core broken. I was thinking they had their own Flygon in the back, but no, they don't. They've got an Escavalier. So we're healthy enough and tanky enough to make it to a neutral Rock Slide. Does half of its health. You'll love to see it. And our Skarmory is still pretty healthy. We're going to go for the Sky Attack and really put heavy pressure on this Escav. So from a team reading perspective, there could be another Steel type in the back. I'm not sure if that is the case. I have been wrong. A lot of people are just experimenting early on in the Fantasy Cup. The team comps are all over the place. So just in case it is a Flygon, we're going to throw this move here. I don't want to get hit by a move just in case they do have their own Flygon. We can put in work on it. But no, it's not. And I don't know what it is about these Lucarios in the back. I'm often caught. I'm often like a deer in headlights. That was a misplay. We should have instantly pivoted into our own Flygon. We stayed in way too long there, and that was a mistake. But I think we can pull this out. They go straight for the one shot with the Shadow Ball. We're going to go for a resistant Dragon Claw. Like I said, this thing is absolutely made of tissue paper. And they might have had a feeling that Blaze Kick wouldn't be enough, so they try to get to the Shadow Ball. We outpace. Down goes the Lucario to a Dragon Claw of all things. My goodness, that thing is absolutely made of tissue paper. Good game to them. So yeah, if you are seeing non-stop Azu, non-stop Flygon as I was, you might want to give Team 5 a try. And here we go. Speaking of, right on cue, another Azu, different battle. Oh man, I don't, you know, Azu's really good in this meta, and it's a very nice comfort pick, just about for any meta, so I get it. But that's not going to stop me from capitalizing with Team 5 here, holy smokes. We'll grab a very early shield from the Azumarill, and I'm sure they're running Hydro Pump, so we're going to shield that. And we're going to try and play this in a similar way that we did in the previous Azumarill lead. So we now know that they are running Hydro Pump. I like to go for the Brave Bird there. I'm going to throw one and try to pivot here. They hold on to the energy, and they've got a Mawile running Fire Fang in the back. So perhaps they did want to chip us, or perhaps they should have gone for the chip there, because we make it to an Earthquake. We're going to let this go, and I'm going to trust in my rank 4 Galarian Stunfisk to have the bulk to hang in there long enough to make it to another Earthquake. And we do. Holy smokes, you love to see it. So, yeah, Mawile doesn't have a shield. Down it goes. And, yeah, bye-bye Mawile. Back in comes the Azumarill. They held on to their energy, and I don't want to get hit by another Hydro Pump. I don't know what else could be in the back. Mawile is very interesting to have in the back behind Azumarill. I get it. They want to protect Azu from the Reggie. They go for the Hydro Pump. They go into a Reggie, speaking of. and they top left. So a little premature, but it was not trending in the right direction for them. Good game to them. Had a lot of fun in the Fantasy Cup. It's a decent meta. It's really not all that bad, but here we go. Empoleon. Hello, Empoleon. Okay. Yeah, that is a Pokemon that exists. Certainly not good for Team 5 here. Holy smokes. I wasn't quite sure what to do here. They are massively resisting our fast move pressure. I'm just going to go for the old Brave Bird and Retreat strat and see where that takes us. We're going to actually pivot into Flygon. They do let that go. It does big resisted damage. In comes our Flygon. Can't really come into G-Fisk. Those waterfalls really do chunk, and we're just going to get rid of this with a Dragon Claw. They let it go. They choose to no shield, and in comes a Whimsicott. What is happening here? What is going on here? Holy smokes. Super hard countered on the lead. They punish us big time with a Whimsicott. Bring in. That wasn't a counter swap, as they did let it go down. And we should have waited the clock here. I had just been a little bit flustered with what I was seeing on my screen. Had we waited the clock, we would have been a little better off because they have a Turtonator in the back. We exit stage left. There is absolutely nothing we can do up against that team right there. Holy smokes. What a team to find yourself paired up against. But hey, you can't win them all. It took a wild, wacky squad like that to take out Team 5. I'll take it. No problem. I'm not even mad. Team 5 was putting in tremendous work. That is the team, my friends. So, yeah, like I said, I had been watching Twitch day one just to get a feel for the meta, see what people were running. I was seeing nonstop Azumarill, nonstop Flygon, two very strong Pokemon in the meta, and I just saw an opportunity. I said, hey, we've got Team 5 here. It happens to perform very well up against those two very common Pokemon that are all over the place. That being Azumarill and Flygon. And as I went over in my top 5 best teams, if you lead with Skarmory, you got to have adequate Registeel coverage in the back. That is what we have with Flygon and G-Fisk. You put all that together, guys, that's a recipe for a lot of success and a lot of fun up against those Flygons and Azumarills. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.